Welcome back to Soccer Cards United. It's episode 216 of the greatest soccer card podcast in the world. My name is Jason. That's Enzo. Hi, Enzo.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
Good to hear it. We haven't spoken in about a week, because you were away.
Yeah, I was away. I got to do a bit of a holiday. Actually, I've been a little bit sick as well. That's why we've had some delays in the programming of this very show. But yeah, I was away. I managed to get like what feels like my first holiday, my first non-hobby holiday in about a few years. That's what it feels like.
Good Lord, they've been working you too hard.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know you went to a match as well, which we'll discuss when we're previewing the second leg of that fixture. But exciting stuff, I'm sure, to come in the show. We're going to start on Hobby HQ as always, and look forward to a product. Although there are so many products in and about the place at the moment, and we're going to look forward to a product that's coming out, which is Top's finest, not Road to the Euros, but UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League, but not UEFA Conference League.
Oh, wow.
So,
Conference League doesn't make it the finest. Is that what you're telling me?
Apparently not.
Okay.
We saw this on Tops.com. Coming soon, Tops 23-24 UEFA club competitions. But as I say, there's...
Yeah, they're missing one. That's okay.
Well, they're missing two. Let's face it. There's no Women's Champions League there either.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So 23-24 Topps Finest UEFA Club Competition will be available for pre-order beginning April 18th, which is on Friday. Returns to Champions League, Europa League. The 150 card base set includes the biggest stars of the Champions League and the Europa League and the most exciting rookies on a rainbow of parallels. New inserts like Top of the World and very limited finest idols join hobby favorites such as prize footballers and the man. Plus, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo clash once again in the brand new finest rivals dual autographs.
Ooh.
2 autographs per box.
So similar vibe matchups back in the day.
Yes. Take a look at that. Get a load of that.
Whoa.
Incredible stuff.
Messi and Ronaldo on a Chromium Superfactor dual autograph. These in the Real Madrid and Barcelona kit. These are the things we like to see. I like that.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. There's also, and I know Enzo, you'll be of particular interest to you as a AC Milan fan.
I'm devastated.
There's the comebacks insert going in. This is obviously the famous Liverpool Barcelona match, but you know your team AC Milan have had a couple of comebacks over the years. May surely make the checklist for this one.
Yeah, hopefully the Champions League final comeback doesn't appear there with Liverpool.
Right. So anyway, this is available for pre-order. We're seeing more and more of this pre-order stuff going on.
Yeah, and I think they said 18th or 16th or something like that of May is the actual release date. 18th of May, no, but the release date. So
yes.
Coming kind of 2 months earlier than it normally would in the calendar year. So that's interesting. Does it say how much the base checklist is? Does it say that?
150.
Right, fascinating.
One thing that's interesting with these kind of pre-orders is that we're used to year on year products being delayed and products being, like we saw this week, Donruss is delayed. But yeah, products being delayed and pushed back throughout the calendar. And usually that was a problem if you ordered through a distributor or something like that. You get your pre-orders in with, I don't know, Blowout or somebody, then it was delayed. But the idea of the manufacturer taking pre-orders directly, does that kind of, what would you say, give them a greater responsibility to fulfill on time and to release on time?
I'd say, yeah. I'd imagine anytime there is a delay, it's kind of out of their hands though as well. So I don't know.
Well, how can it be out of their hands if they're the manufacturer?
Well, I mean, like they own the printers now, but like, I don't know. I assume they always had a set date, and anytime it gets pushed back, it's because they're printing other stuff or they're waiting for an approval or whatever. Like, there's things that can be out of their hand, I'd say. You know, if there's a print issue, if you print stuff and there's a big issues and they want to revamp it or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think if you choose to take the pre-orders directly, then you have a great responsibility because no one asked you to take pre-orders directly.
That's true.
you decided to do that. So I think it does slightly change the dynamics as opposed to, a retailer or something like soccercardsunited.com going out and taking pre-orders. By the way, if you pre-order Donruss, there's a delay. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's how I break the news.
Yeah.
Another big hobby story that happened in our constant, nearly a new segment on the show, mergers and acquisitions. There was kind of a two-way trade. I suppose you'd call it. There was a trade between eBay and collectors, with the eBay vault going one way and golden auctions going the other way.
Yeah.
Big news in the hobby. eBay collectors enter into commercial agreements, sign deals for acquisition of golden by eBay and acquisition of eBay vault by PSA. Very, very interesting stuff. I won't read you all this, but basically what's happening is that eBay wanted to increase their trust rating, their reputation among high rollers, high end buyers, 6-figure card buyers, and they thought the best way to do that might be to take an auction house and acquire them. And I believe that since collectors bought golden, it hasn't quite felt like the right fit. And so they felt like golden might be of more use to eBay, might be of better use to everybody somewhere else. But they did want to increase their vault capability. Everyone's very concerned about vaulting. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
It was a massive trend.
There's massive opportunity to vault stuff.
Yeah. These companies are convinced if they can just get you to vault your cards,
all would be fair.
They have you.
It's fair. Because I suppose like a lot of people have cards vaulted and kind of forget about it, and suddenly you're paying a monthly fee or whatever the case may be. Like it must be good money. And you're also like, if you have seller fees and your platform's plugged in, the easiest thing to do is to just sell it versus sending it back to yourself, and etc. etc.
Yeah, hard to know though. Like if I think as we go further and further towards vaulting and platforms and all this stuff, at a certain point, it kind of becomes a slightly different hobby, doesn't it? It's not that different to a digital collectible.
Yeah, you're kind of trending towards that with physicals.
Yeah. If you buy the card, grade the card, vault the card, and sell the card, and never see the card, then why not just own an NFT?
Wow. Is this Jason live on the podcast saying he's a big NFT man?
No, I'm not coming out in favor of NFTs. I'm just saying I think there's a balance between convenience and shipping and those pain points and taxes and customs and all that stuff. There's a balance between that and also the real physical.
Mm-hmm. No, it is weird. But I suppose like a lot of people just don't want to do all of the hullabaloo of everything else. Like if you enter a box break, that box break, you can then send it directly to a little vault, and then that vault can go and grade it, and then you can put that onto a marketplace and you can sell it. And if that's a card that you had no interest in having as a PC, then that's probably great because someone eventually gets something physical. That's what they say.
Yes, there is an end user at some point
that will get something physical. Physical. And then obviously your own PC, you'll have that in your physical collection. I don't know. It's weird, but I get what you're saying. It's becoming so streamlined that it's almost like you can do the whole hobby on autopilot without ever actually seeing a card physically. Fascinating. Do you use any vault systems, Jason?
I use ComC.
Okay.
And again, that kind of like ComC stuff that I buy for my PC, you can kind of buy 10 or 12 items and ship them all at once. But I'm happy to leave anything that's not in my PC, as you rightly predict. Happy to leave anything that's not in my PC on the ComC platform, and where I can send it to auction or send it to grading or whatever. But then there's stuff that I kind of want to have physically.
Yeah. And let's not forget, ComC featured in mergers and acquisitions earlier in the months when eBay also acquired them, I believe, or did something with them.
Yeah, entered into a commercial partnership. I believe that the acquisition of Golden is the first time that eBay have outright acquired a collectibles company.
Wow, that's big news.
Big news. I do feel like the golden to eBay thing is slightly more glamorous news, slightly more exciting news than the trading of the vaults. So I'll just focus on that. It says here on this this press release, eBay's agreement to acquire Golden, a leading US-based auction house for high-value trading cards and collectibles, will enhance existing marketplace offerings by expanding the range of inventory available to customers and opening up an expansive new audience for Golden sellers. This will enable a more well-rounded collecting experience across price points. Here's Ken. Ken says, "We see so much opportunity ahead with eBay, and I'm incredibly excited for this new chapter of the Golden brand. This deal will enhance and expand our reach as we continue to do what we do best: source incredible collector's items and connect with millions of enthusiasts around the world. I'm looking forward to an amazing future with eBay." Ken has an incredible ability to, I suppose this is an auctioneer's great trait, is to be consistently enthusiastic.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know how much involvement he still has. Like, he's still like the face of it, but I don't know in terms of ownership if he's fully sold it or what the deal really is in the old background. But he, as you said, he's enthusiastic and optimistic as ever. And in fairness, eBay acquiring Golden is what you said is glamorous. Like the fact that thing was like eBay have acquired Golden, and then they were like, Golden is an American auction house. Like, it shows how big eBay are. They're such a global brand. Where it's like, and Golden is this thing in America, and we've added that to the book.
Yeah,
it's glam.
It's a kind of a, like, to us, this is massive news. It's like eBay and Golden, because we see eBay through a very narrow lens. We're almost like, your eBay, your Goldens, but to eBay, it's like, no. This is just one small part of one small part of one small part of the business. I believe Ken didn't he sell to collectors, and then they brought in a new CEO, and then they brought him back?
I thought he sold to collectors and he was sticking around. That was how that was. He sold it and said, but I'm still going to be here. I don't think they replaced him and brought him back. I don't think.
Yeah, it was something to do with he was moving more towards like a brand ambassador kind of role, and then they realized they needed his
pizzazz,
his hands on the steering wheel day in, day out.
Yeah, classic.
Classic.
I'm waiting on that Collectibles season 2. Come on, give it to us. People are waiting.
Yeah, that'd be good. Big news out of Fanatics. This is a story from Sports Collectors Daily, written by the great Rich Mueller.
Oh my God! Someday, Jason. Someday.
I saw him on a podcast. Did you see him on that podcast?
No.
I don't know who. I think it was. I don't know who's. It was a different, like a Hobby News Daily or something. Or
okay.
I don't know, some other kind of a rival publication to him had him on to talk about something, and I was like, God damn! How does it feel to live my dream?
You don't do guests, Jason. You don't take guests.
I don't do guests. That's right. So it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, not at all.
Where are we here? Oh yeah. So, Fanatics' first self-produced sports collecting event now has a date and location. The company's Fanatics Events division has announced plans for a 3-day gathering at New York City's Javits Center from August 16th to the 18th. The company is describing Fanatics Fest NYC as, quote, the nexus of sports fandom, culture, and collecting. It certainly isn't the kind of card show we're used to, says Rich Mueller. Rich Mueller says, this isn't your granddaddy's card show.
Oh my God.
Fanatics says the event will include interactive features, multiple stages in theaters, product drops, exclusive merchandise, major announcements, live podcasts. I presume our invitation got lost at the post.
Well, it could be on the way.
It could be on the way. That's right. It has to come all the way from New York City. And more to celebrate and elevate modern sports fandoms in all its forms. Fanatics Fest appears to be a much larger version of the IMG-produced Mint Collective that was held in Las Vegas in 2022-23. There'll be a 2,500-seat main stage and a show floor encompassing more than 400,000 square feet. Fanatics indicated it would have the support of the NFL, the NBA, the WNBA, the MLB, the NHL, MLS, UFC, and WWE. Fanatics' own companies, Topps and PWCC, will join PSA and other corporate entities at the show. Among those slated to attend, here we go: Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Derek Jeter, Kevin Durant, Sabrina Ionescu, and Hulk Hogan, with more athletes expected to be added. It wasn't immediately clear who'd be signing, but autographs were part of a recent WWE World Festival, which was also produced by Fanatics. Attractions for collectors include an all-day trading pit for card collectors, collecting 101 content for novice collectors, and what the company calls a museum display of some of the world's rarest cards and sports memorabilia. Topps will also be offering exclusive show products. And a quote from Lance Fensterman, who's the CEO of Fanatics Events, says, "Sports fans deserve a place to gather, celebrate their passions, and foster new ones. And Fanatics Fest NYC aims to do just that. Unlike any other events in the world of sports fandom, Fanatics Fest NYC will reside at the intersection of sports, culture, entertainment, and collecting. And we couldn't be more excited to welcome fans into part of what will become a year-long calendar of premium live experiences."
Wow.
Wow.
So Fanatics events are essentially doing what they were set up to do: host events.
Host events, yeah. Breaking news: Fanatics Events host event.
And the first one is in New York City, Fanatics Fest, 3-day affair. Jason, your immediate reaction?
My immediate reaction is cool. Let's see what it's like.
Wonderful. How do you feel about the Champions League not being involved there? The way they had MLS was the soccer representation.
Yeah, I do actually think because I saw this on, I don't know if it was on Liam's Twitter or something, that on Fanatics Live there's no soccer category; it just says MLS. You have to find soccer through other sports. And on the one hand, that's annoying because it's like, that's the MLS. That's just put soccer instead. But also, I do think it shows the potential of MLS, that it is a major league X kind of thing. Like it is an American sports league. So the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the MLS, they can all be kind of mentioned in one sentence because people don't say basketball will be there. They say the NBA will be there. So on the one hand, it's like, come on, because right now the MLS is a small part of the soccer world, but it also kind of shows that in future, the far distant future where we have flying cars and perpetual motion machines, the MLS could be what the NBA is to global basketball.
Wow. Big statement. I suppose Lionel Messi being in the MLS, we mustn't forget, adds a lot of weight to its brand currently as well.
Definitely.
The king. Right, well, Jason, that's all well and good. How do you feel about it? Like, it's not a card show, right? Like, we're right in saying that this is a collectibles event, entertainment event. It's not a card show. There will be vendors. Like, to be honest, here's one. I went to VCon, Jason, as we all remember. The first edition of VCon. They didn't go to the second edition. That's no slight on VCon. I just want to do transatlantic. But at the first edition, there was like a market, kind of a market segment. I can't remember what they called it, but at it there was sports vendors. Like there was, the entire event was a huge event, but it was in the Viking Stadium, maybe in Minnesota. I can't remember the name of it. And what am I trying to say? Yeah, like, so you could buy and sell sports cards at this event, even though 90% of the event had nothing to do with that. So, would you expect vendors at Fanatics Fest?
I've no idea because they say there's obviously going to be corporate representation from Topps, PwC, PSA, and also they have this trading pit for card collectors. And I understand what they've done there. They haven't wanted to call it a trade area. They haven't wanted to call it a trade floor or whatever it may be. So they've gone for something different. They've coined the term trading pit.
They've reinvented
They've reinvented the wheel there, but there is also that obviously the pit, like there's a kind of a casino related term there, but also just the choice of the word pit does kind of put card collectors, the idea of trading cards as a slightly kind of because a pit is below ground level. So it almost has that very, very Fanatics feeling of there'll be the stages and there'll be the screens where there'll be giant projected images of Tom Brady and Michael Rubin, and it'll all be absolutely fantastic. They'll be like gods on Mount Olympus. And then for those collectors who want to trade cards, you get down to the pit and you do that, and you come back up when you want to spend some money.
It sounds like to me the trade pit. I have a different view on the trade pit, although that was very colorful. I feel like the trade pit is going to be a trade corner that also encompasses vendors. I think the internal segment of the pit will be a trading area, and I think on the periphery of it there'll probably be some selected vendor tables, similar to what I seen at VCon, in terms of you could apply to be a vendor, and they kind of had some of the kind of big names in the game were kind of there wheeling and dealing a little bit.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see how this pit pans out.
Yeah, when they mentioned like the Mint Collective, like obviously we never went to it, but like I thought that was like a card show with a bit of a corporate twist. Would I be right or wrong in saying that?
No real idea.
Yeah, we weren't there. I remember
It may
talking.
have been. I mean, I don't think Fanatics mentioned the Mint Collective in their press release. I
Okay.
believe Rich was saying that the closest to this we might have seen as a kind of a still recognizably a card show would be the Mint Collective.
Okay. Well, in fairness, they called it Fanatics Fest. They didn't call it a big card show or anything like that. So we'll wait and see what happens.
We'll wait and see. Obviously, it's very, very close to the national.
Yeah, and apparently it coincides with the East Coast National, which is what that is called, Jason. So I think during that weekend, whether it's one of the days or both of the days, there is an East Coast National taking place, which kind of clashes.
Right, and the fact that Fanatics haven't been put off by that, although I don't know how good the East Coast National is, and the fact that Fanatics haven't been put off by that does speak to them not wanting to do. They're not trying to position this as a straight card show.
Yes.
This is in White Plains, New York, Westchester County. I believe that's upstate New York, and not New York City.
I can't find it. I can't find an August date for it, is what I'm trying to say.
I have it here, yeah, August 16th to the 18th.
So same weekend.
Same weekend in Westchester County.
And this is also like a 3-day thing. It's literally that's mad. 500 tables, sports card memorabilia, 2. Like, would you like if you were there, Jason? Would you be tempted to try and swing both? How far away are they? I don't know.
I think they're quite far away, and I imagine Fanatics Fest will have quite a packed schedule of
Activities. Yeah, because this is literally like the times I think fully clash.
Oh, here we go. Hang on. There's some more details in the Fanatics press release on the idea of who can sell.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, among the additional activities on site, attendees can expect an all-day trading pit, which is additional fan engagements include live stream collectibles breaks through the Fanatics Live platform, a retail superstore offering a significant assortment of products across hundreds of teams and leagues, exclusive apparel collaborations with top brands, athlete meet and greets, exclusive Topps trading card drops, and more. So that sounds like it'll be a Fanatics retail setup.
Makes sense.
As opposed to independent retailers coming in and setting up.
Okay.
And as I say, if you want to trade, get down in the pit.
Yeah,
oh, look, Gary V will be there.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you think there'll be many Zion cases at the show?
I imagine we'll see them walking around, but I don't think people don't kind of carry their Zion cases full of cards with as much gusto as they did
back in the
boom.
day.
Yeah,
wow, that's a big statement.
I think maybe people will go with a backpack or something, just put a couple of things in them, and I didn't want to bring my whole case over, people might say to us. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
So that's, yeah. I'll be interested in the listeners' thoughts on the idea of Fanatics events.
Launching their first event.
Yeah. I mean, they said Fanatics Fest NYC, so they'll even get open to...
Oh, they'll definitely do LA, surely.
They
do both coasts.
They could do Chicago.
That would be quite...
People in the middle of the country, I believe, in the US don't like when only the coasts are paid attention to.
I understand.
That, I think, forms a lot of how they vote and stuff like that. Okay. Obviously, we had a flagship release on Friday.
UEFA club competition flagship.
Yeah.
Safe to call it wildly successful.
I would say successful.
Yeah.
Definitely more successful than previous releases of flagship have been.
Yep.
A richer product than still available, I believe, on the Topps website.
Yeah, obviously I was a big print run on flagship, but yeah, as you rightly said on your solo episode, which I listened to, you'd always want to tell people that are just starting out, grab Flagship, but it was kind of a lost. It was lost advice because ultimately Flagship was never really great
It
value
was
for
hit and
money, I
miss.
suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like now you're kind of guaranteed, hit, whether it's an autograph or a relic, along with all the other little chases. It makes it a more fun product.
If anyone is interested in a breakdown of the product, Bryn Griffiths, who's a good follow on Twitter and who's been off quoted on this show, had a link to his breakdown of it, which is a Google sheet, and is extremely thorough
Okay.
and done by team. So
Oh, very nice.
you can it starts off with AC Milan there. It's done alphabetically.
Love that.
And you can go in there, Enzo, and you can just bam, bam, bam. You can see you can get some Alessandro Florenzi and Pierre Kalulu relics.
I love that.
Malik Chow, European Nights, all sorts of stuff.
Is that a Teo Hernandez auto relic? Is that what that'll be?
Teo Hernandez auto relic. Yeah, I believe I saw one of them.
Okay.
Looks good. Looks real good.
I like that.
There's also these SSPs, which unlike previous years have a stamp on them.
I love that, by the way.
I think that's so important. We've discussed many times the problems with unnumbered parallels, and it similarly applies to short prints.
Yeah.
People, you need to help people.
Yeah, I mean, you're as a veteran as it gets, Jason. I believe you missed an SP in your box opening of you got Rafael Leao image variation.
I did, yeah.
And you didn't know. People had to tell you. So obviously, only the SSPs are marked. The SPs are not.
No.
So yeah, like if Jason, if you had sent someone down to the shops and you said to them, I recommend you get a Flagship as your first hobby product, and they open that, they don't know shit about shit. They're not going to know that's an image variation because you're as deep in and you didn't know. So it's like the casual won't know. They'll go, I'm after wasting my money. I didn't hit nothing. I hit nothing. I know you got an autograph, but you know what I mean? Like I didn't really get an. I mean, well, the card with potentially the most value, it just wasn't denoted. But now there's a good thing to that because if they made say 100 SPs and then 50% of the people didn't know they were SPs and they end up getting lost, the graded population to be lower, and there's like a funness to that, but at the same time, like you got to let people know it's a kind of a catch-22. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think it helps. And actually, going back to that, just I was taking a look on eBay at some of the cards, and just because there's so many different cards, such kind of a diverse product this year. And if we take that kind of point on the SSPs and we apply it to the product in general, I think here's my biggest hot take. I think they need to call this Flagship officially or something else. Because there's no agreed name for this product, and it's a needless piece of confusion.
That's very fair.
It really, there's no requirement that it not be called Flagship or something else on the Topps website.
Topps UEFA Club Competition Hobby Box. It's confusing. There's no name.
It's confusing. It's needlessly confusing. Yeah, and even from the point of view of the secondary market, et cetera, it's just.
Jason, that is an unbelievable take.
Well, good. Thank you. Worth a listen this week.
Yeah, no, that's it. Because I know, like, obviously the Topps Chrome will just say Topps Chrome, and they're saying Topps is the brand, Topps Chrome. But like, I know what you're saying. Just name it. We all call it Flagship, but like, that's just out of ridiculousness, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that they don't want to call it paper because they don't want to draw attention to the fact that it's not on Chromium stock. They don't want to call it Flagship because they,
Flagship releases Topps Chrome, basically.
Exactly, yeah. It's also obviously a holdover from the baseball thing. It's just called Topps MLB 2024 or whatever. But I do think just because something has been done in baseball, which is a 120 year tradition of card collecting, there's no reason you can't do something new or something better in soccer. And I wish the baseball collectors paid enough attention to us to be angry about something like that, but I really don't think they'd care. So I think we can change it and just make things easier. Because this is just like, if you search Topps UEFA Club Competitions 23-24, come August, you're going to be getting finest, you're going to be getting chrome, you're going to be getting deco, you're going to be getting gold, you're going to be getting like 10 or 12 different sets that are all technically tops UCC 23, 24 products. They're just not flagship, they're just not paper, etc., etc. So that's one of my asks.
There, that's a beautiful hot take. I love it, Jason. I think it's wonderful. I think you're definitely rubbing against the grain of what's been done for hundreds of years, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I think that is it's a good take. It's a good take.
Well, very good. Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't fall on deaf ears. Or maybe people can write in and say, Jason, you're way out of line. You're spitting in the face of collecting tradition or whatever it is.
Hobby heritage.
Yeah. I was just looking at Bryn's breakdown here of the collection, and it's notable how few or how many teams don't have any rookies on their checklist. So there's Arsenal, no rookies. Roma, 1 rookie. Aston Villa, none. Atalanta, none. Atletico, none. Dortmund, good few. Good to see that. Brighton, a couple. Celtic, a couple. Barca, chock full of rookies.
As ever.
But you look at Bayern Munich, no rookies.
No one of them in the league this year, Jason.
Yeah, exactly. They're not bringing fresh blood through. Manchester City, no rookies.
No, their team is set for the next 2 or 3 years.
Where's your Phil Foden? Where's your Cole Palmer? Where's your Rico Lewis? Your Liam Delap? Manchester United, no rookies.
Oh my goodness. We can't churn out Garnacho every year. And Top's had enough self-respect not to give Kobe Mainoo a rookie 2 years in a row.
That was nice of them, in fairness. So that's kind of interesting to see. We're definitely slowing down on the rookie.
I think it's all cycles, though. It comes in spurts. If you think of it, like 2020 was a great rookie class, and then 23-24 was a great rookie class, and in between there was a bit of filler. Obviously, some players popped out and some didn't, etc. But I think these comes in cycles, Jason. It's going to take a year or two, and then we'll have another top class. That's
few rookies.
My hot take. If you think of like the Barcelona, the iconic Barcelona team back in the day, they all came through together. If you look at the United 1999 treble winner team, they all came through together as well. The class of 90, whatever. So it does kind of feel like in the youth academy, they do kind of break through in cycles. Rarely do, because if you're together and you're all good players, you're playing for a few years at underage level together. You're all elevating your game together, and then when you break onto the scene, you're all good together. If you're just one solid player in a really bad academy, it's probably harder to break through, I would imagine. So they kind of come in sprouts, I believe.
Absolutely. But then you look at Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern, Arsenal, no rookies for any of those this year. And maybe it shows that that these are the top teams. Like they're all Champions League quarterfinalists. So you don't win anything with kids. Whoever said that famous quote?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe there's been an over reliance on younger players, for the last couple of years, and Barcelona is still doing it, but their rookies are about to knock PSG out of the Champions League. So
yeah, potentially,
if Mbappe can get it together.
Yeah, he really needs to do a big job tonight, Jason. But you must be feeling fairly confident here in the Champions League. Sneak into the last 4 and you might have yourself another crack at the whip for your first ever Champions League title.
Yeah, I'm not that confident. I wasn't that confident before the first leg, and I'm still not that confident. 2-1, yeah.
Yeah, the 2-0 would have been a top.
Yeah.
Top. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, it should have been 4-0 on the night.
Listen, stay calm.
And couple of bad misses, couple of great saves, and then Sebastian Haller crops up and gets a goal, and all of a sudden you're going back to the yellow wall.
Yeah,
all that.
Do you think Simeone will set up defensively?
No, I don't think there's any point anymore. I think he has to
just keep going for it.
He has to just go for it. Yeah, I think we're going to need an inspired Griezmann performance, but beat Girona at the weekend, high flying Girona. So.
Yeah, Milan have a lot to do going to the Eternal City.
Yeah.
With a goal. Because I want to see them in Dublin in the final. So I'm not having it. I'm really not having it. I need to see a big result in Rome.
You don't want to see Benfica versus Atalanta in the final.
Not exactly. I mean, Bayern Leverkusen look to be
On for
unbeaten.
a treble.
Yeah, on for an unbeaten all season treble, but we'll see. They might have celebrated that Bundesliga, that Meisterschalen, whatever you call it, a little bit too much.
Yeah, the Meisterschale.
There you go.
Just to flash forward to Wednesday at the Etihad, Real Madrid will be going to try and overcome Manchester City. And you were at the Bernabeu last week
Oh yes,
for the first leg of that game. Tell us about that.
what an experience! What an experience! So I've decided I was going to Madrid, a small little holiday to Madrid, see a few friends, and of course the game was on. It was purposely coincided. I was trying to get me tickets. I was waiting on the classic ticket sale, but then they sold out before going on general sale, which made me. I felt like everyone in the hobby. I was, what you mean it's sold out? It never went on sale. What are you talking about? Who bought it if it's sold out but didn't go to the public? So I had to buy a resale ticket, and I was hemming and hawing and this that, and the other. And like, if we wanted to all sit together, the resale tickets were very expensive. Like, if I wanted to just sit solo by myself, resale ticket was dirt cheap, about 300. Well, not dirt cheap, sorry, about 300 quid, but like about half the price. Like, about half the price as sitting next to each other. Do you know what I mean?
I'll edit that. I'll edit in €40.
Yeah, very cheap, very affordable. So in the end, to be honest, it was a moment of absolute genius from me. Is that I seen that there was still some VIP tickets for sale that basically ran you the same amount as sitting together in like behind the goal, and not even with the ultras, like just one of the worst seats in the house, basically. Then you get VIP for pretty much the same amount, a very very affordable. And so, I did that. So we went VIP treatment, which was incredible, right? Because we got to go to a pre-game. They said show up 2 hours before the game, and you're getting fed and watered for free. So busted into this place, got delicious.
Well, it
food.
wasn't free, was it? It was included in the.
Yeah, but like, to be honest, I was halfway through eating cow cheek, Jason, for like the fourth or fifth time. Just kept restocking it after our experience in Bilbao. I knew I liked cow cheek in Spain, and
one of the great things about this podcast is, by the way, it's very relatable.
Very relatable, unbelievably relatable. So, but basically, I'd start drinking and eating myself into a good deal, if you know what I mean.
Yes, you said there's a break-even point here.
Yeah, I had 2 hours, so I didn't have to buy dinner that day, which was going to save me a bit of cash, So I said, right, this is well worth it. I kept eating. This is worth it. My big mistake was going on the beer instead of the wine, because the beer was filling me up, and the wine I would have eaten more if I drank the wine. But anyway,
yeah, the beer fills you up. The wine just washes the cow cheek down.
That's it. as I should have known. As everyone listening to this podcast is fully aware.
Yeah.
But at the
we
end,
all have that experience in common.
They had little mini hot dogs and all. It was brilliant. Like, it was genuinely like a good experience. I think like paying the money to have a VIP experience and then being treated well, having that kind of VIP experience, versus paying essentially the same money and just feeling like you've overpaid for kind of a subpar. So it was a genius move by me, in my opinion. It was a lot of money, but I just kind of went with it because I was in the city. I was having a good time. I said, to be honest, it was like day of the game. All the
treat yourself.
I had to treat myself. I don't go on holidays very often, and I couldn't watch this game in a pub being in Madrid. I said, I have to do it. I just have to do it. Wonderful experience. And then, of course, it kind of all paid off truly by the fact that the game was unbelievable. Like, if that was a little bore fest, if it was a shitty game, I'd have been a little bit like, oh God, what have I done here? But it was one of those games where I get to say, oh, I was at that game. It was brilliant. My biggest takeaway was at the end of the game, the Madrid fans just kind of walked home like, this is what it's like being a Madrid fan. Like, that's what the whole experience was like. This didn't even have like, there wasn't really that big game vibe going on with the Madrid fans. They were just like, oh yeah, quarterfinal Champions League today. Who we against? City. Oh yeah, let's have a go. 3-3. They're like, oh, would have been nicer to win it, but that's grand. It was very nonchalant. Like, everyone was just like other clubs was like big European night, and they were just like, yeah, we have a midweek this week. Great.
Yes.
Who's it again? So it was a bit insane to see that. It was very much, and you start to understand why they boo their team if they're not playing well or whatever, and they have such high standards, because literally even that blockbuster of a game, they kind of came away from it going 3-3, not the best. Like, there could have been, we should be winning that, this, that, and the other. It was good. It was, to be honest, it was a good experience. The Bernabeu, the roof was closed, I think, for the first time in the European game. That was fun. I can't compare it to anything because I'd never been to it with the roof open. But by all accounts, it was a really fun experience. It was a good time. It was a great game. And yeah, it was just brilliant. The game flew by. It was wonderful.
The kind of two, I guess, hobby favorites of Haaland and Bellingham were widely considered to have had poor performances individually, although there were a lot of amazing performances around, Bernardo Silva, Rodrigo, Vinicius. Kind of, was there any player that you expected to be impressed by and weren't, or that you didn't expect to be impressed by and were? And what do you think? How do you think the second leg is going to go based on the eye test from the first leg?
Yeah, you start to understand a lot of the kind of hate Haaland is getting by like critics. Despite the fact that he scores unbelievable amount of goals, he just couldn't contribute to the game. I thought Rudiger had him in his pocket so well. I don't know if that translated onto TV, but I got a lot of Antonio Rudiger, and there was so many individual battles between the two of them, and he just came out on top every time. But it always looked like he was 1 or 2 seconds away from just getting ripped through by Haaland. So that was very finely poised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if at the Etihad we see it look like Haaland ripped through the fence, when in reality he just got the better of Rudiger, because it did look like at any point in the game that could happen. Bellingham didn't have a great game. He had small little bits, but nothing amazing. Toni Kroos's legs are gone, but he never needed his legs. But it was kind of telling that Modric and Kroos couldn't play together. It was very much like, we'll give both of them a few minutes.
Yeah.
I suppose Kevin De Bruyne didn't get to play. Did he come on at all? Maybe he came on.
I don't know. He was sick before the game, so I don't think he came on. No, he didn't come on. Only Julian Alvarez came on 87 minutes.
Yeah, so I think Kevin De Bruyne will probably be the difference maker. To be honest, like, based on watching it, I think City should go through, to be honest, because City, it kind of felt like they were scoring goals that they could always score. Like, obviously they scored some crackers, but it just felt like, I don't know, Real Madrid's, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, Real Madrid were very left heavy. Everyone said that. You can see that in the game as clear as day. Nothing was going down the right hand side for Real Madrid. It was just Rodrigo and Vinny. To be honest, it was just as finely poised as you could like, but I'd expect City to beat them.
There was kind of a lot of praise of two City players, Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden, after the game. Had you seen Phil Foden in person before? And if not, were you impressed?
I don't think I've seen him in person before.
I've never seen City or England in person.
No, I don't think I have either. Phil Foden was unbelievable, yeah. Especially when he was central. Like, he's just tidy as you like. And Bernardo Silva as well is super underrated. Rodri had an amazing game as well, sitting deep and just like, it was unreal. Like, when Guardiola scored that goal, though, I was like, what the fuck just happened there? Like, that was a bit of a mad one.
Yeah, and he scored at the weekend then as well. Yeah. He's got shooting boots on.
He's getting excited. But to be honest, ultimately, like, I went to a game and I got to watch two teams of 11 players that were at as close to the highest level as you're going to see. And it was a joy to watch people playing the right passes, playing at a really good tempo, 1 touch, 2 touch, and just being proper. Like, it was such a high quality of football, which was wonderful to see. Even like some of the goals were a bit sloppy or whatever, like, but it was just two complete European animals going against each other and playing attacking football versus defending. It was brilliant.
Well, if that doesn't get people warmed up for the second leg, I don't know what will.
I mean, come on, 3-0. Stop.
3-0. Yeah, I know.
Valverde scoring a customary Valverde banger was beautiful. I love this.
Yeah, when he scores bangers, that fella.
What a man. What an absolute gem. But I'm buzzing for that second leg just based on seeing the first one. I want to see what's gonna transpire, who's gonna make it out.
Well, I tell you what, we'll come back on Thursday after those second legs.
Oh yeah.
And see how it all unfolds. In the meantime, I hope everyone has a great week, and thus concludes episode 216 of Soccer Cards United.
Jason, good luck to Atletico Madrid tonight in the Signal Iduna Park.
Thank you. We're going to need it.
Yeah, absolutely.